Mr. Graff is with us for the department. Ms. Stevens is with us representing the mother, Ms. Williamson, who is with us. We're still waiting on Ms. Grant. She represents the children, so we'll give her a couple of minutes. So I'll be back as soon as we see if she joins us.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Graff, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a compliance hearing, and I would ask if Ms. Cano can give an update to the court as to Mom's progress and what her recommendations are.
All right, let me get her sworn in. All right, thank you, Mr. Graff.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Cano, if you could give the court an update on Mother's compliance and with her services and her progress, and how the kiddos are doing.
Okay, so Tiffany is complying with services. She has completed a mental health evaluation. She's completed her 4-hour advanced parenting skills course, and she is in contact with Rolling Plains Counseling for individual counseling.
Okay.
As far as the kids are doing really well. They do have, they are seeing a psychiatrist for their ADHD. They're taking medicine daily, and that's for 3 of the kids that take medicine daily for ADHD. 2 of the kids have been referred to a specialist. The youngest, Carter, he was referred to a specialist because that his doctor believes Carter to have nonverbal autism. So Tiffany's currently waiting for them to call for an appointment for him. And Memory also has been referred to a specialist because she's been having a lot of stomach issues. So she's currently taking medicine for her stomach as well. So she takes that medicine 3 times daily for her stomach, and she's changed her diet to help to address those stomach issues. Carter, the 2-year-old, he's also working with ECI. The ECI specialist says that Carter is reaching some goals, but she still has concerns for him not being verbal. Let's see. Our recommendations are that Tiffany and the kids, let me see, continue to be ordered to complete services, and for the department to still be involved to ensure child safety.
But you would say overall good progress, and just need some more work before we're ready to dismiss.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, thank you. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Stevens.
No questions.
All right, Ms. Grant.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, excuse me. Mr. Graff, anything further from the department?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Stevens, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Grant, anything to add?
Nothing to add, Your Honor. The children are doing well.
Okay, all right then. I will order that Ms. Williamson continue working the services that were previously ordered, which she's obviously doing very well at. We'll set a compliance hearing. How far out do you want it, Mr. Graff?
Ms. Cano, do you want to look at 3 months or 90 days? I mean, 45 days? What would your preference be?
I think maybe 30 days.
Okay.
Okay, that works. I'll set a compliance hearing for April 4th, 2025. That will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or 2 before April 4th to see exactly what time we'll have that hearing that day.
Great.
Ms. Williamson, congratulations. You've really jumped on your services in a hurry. I appreciate that. And they're probably setting it sooner than later because they think they'll probably be ready to dismiss the case, which I'm sure you'd be happy to have happen. So
Yes, I would, Your Honor.
okay. All right. We'll stand in recess on this case. I'll be back at 10 o'clock to call a Dallam County adversary.
Yes, Judge.
I was going to tell you, we were adding your wife to the counties that she wanted to be added to.
Yes.
And in her resume, I know she's done so much on mediations. I didn't ask her, but we have a mediation list too. Do you think she'd want to be on that?
Yeah, I think she actually had already spoken with Judge Baker about the same issue, and I would say I believe she would be interested in mediation.
Just
Yes,
let her
sir.
know, then I will add her to our list for mediators too.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate that. I'll let her know.
You bet. Looking forward to working with her.
Thanks. I know she's excited to get started as well.
Yeah. Mr. Graff is with us representing the department. Casa is with us with Miss Ledbetter. Miss Lucero is with us representing the children. Mr. Michelson is with us representing one of the alleged fathers, Juan Perez. He is not with us. Mr. Barfield is with us representing another alleged father, Juan Morales. He is not with us. Ms. Kincaid is with us representing any unknown fathers. And Ms. Grant is with us representing the mother. And I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm just going to call her Miss Maria Simone. I can't pronounce the last name, but she is present. I have Alicia Walker, Stephanie Corbett, and Tanja Cheryl in the waiting room.
And they are all my witnesses, Your Honor. Ms. Cheryl is the therapist, and Ms. Corbett and Ms. Walker are social workers.
And who do you need in right now?
Probably Ms. Walker.
Okay. All right. Ms. Walker is with us. So, Mr. Graff, you can call your first witness.
That would be Alicia Walker, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Walker, if you'd raise your right hand, please. Do you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Graff.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Walker, who are you currently employed by?
St. Francis Ministries
Okay, and how long have you been with St. Francis?
for 3 years now.
And what is your current position?
I'm a permanency specialist.
Okay, and what training or experience do you have in child welfare, permanency planning, and termination cases?
Well, I was with the state for 3 years before working with St. Francis, so I have a total of 6 years experience doing this.
Okay, and their mother is who?
Maria Simon.
Okay, and how did you become involved in this case?
I was assigned this case whenever her children were removed from her last year due to the girls being abused by her boyfriend.
Okay, and how often do you review the case file and the circumstances in this case?
Every month I visit the kids and visit Maria in Oklahoma.
Okay, and have you been responsible for ensuring compliance with the children's permanency plan?
Yes.
Okay, and where are the children currently placed?
They are all three in a group home together in Lubbock.
Okay, and how long have they been in their current placement?
Since October of 2024.
Okay, and how are they doing in that placement?
They're doing really good. Marco has some issues behaving every once in a while, throws tantrums every once in a while, and then the only concern we have for Eva is just her hip dysplasia, but other than that, the kids are great.
Okay, and any other besides the hip, Eva's hip issues, are there any physical, emotional, or outstanding physical or emotional or educational needs?
No.
Okay. Do any of the other children have any outstanding medical needs besides Eva?
No.
Okay. And then how are their current placement meeting those needs?
They take them to the doctor every once in a while. They go to school. I mean, they have all their needs met at their placement.
Okay. And are the children bonded with their caregivers?
Yes.
Okay. What were the reasons the state became involved in this case? You mentioned sexual abuse.
Yes. Valeria and Eva made an outcry that her boyfriend, Jose.
Child, we're here on a status hearing. Ms. Wildman is with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the child. Mr. Saint is with us representing the father, Mr. Oliveras. Last I knew, he was still incarcerated. Is that still correct, Mr. Saint?
I believe so, Judge. I haven't heard any different.
Okay, and he's not in the waiting room. No one's in the waiting room. So
He's not going to be here today, Judge.
okay, all right, thank you. Mr. Barfield's with us representing the mother, Miss Arona, who is with us. So that's all the parties. As I said, I don't have anyone in the waiting room. So Ms. Wildman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. I'm going to call Marvell Collins. Now, who is the primary caseworker on this case?
It is Sylvia Garcia. She is out for a medical emergency this morning.
And are you her supervisor?
I am.
Okay. And so, where is Eden currently placed?
Well, right now he is not in a placement. He's officially placed with his paternal grandparents, but on Friday, they said that they were no longer able to keep him. So he is on a spring break visit with his maternal grandmother and aunt. There in Amarillo, there is a pending home study on their home. Also, mom's home study was done out of region, and it should be to us any day. So we have 2 possible placements, but right now he's on spring break.
Okay. So as of right now, there's we've got some options for him for something, but we're kind of waiting to see how that plays out. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
And how, I know it's only been since Friday, but does he have a relationship with the family members that he's on spring break with?
Oh, yes. And he was doing fine in the placement with his grandparents. I think they were more not wanting us involved. So they just didn't feel like they could do it.
Okay.
Didn't want to follow through with the home study. But yes, he knows the aunt and the grandma.
Okay, perfect. And so I guess right now we don't have too many updates on what the plan is for him moving forward as far as school or anything. We're gonna have to kind of wait and see how that goes.
Yes.
But at least as of the time that this was put together, he was going to school out there in Bushland, right?
Yes, and he was doing fine.
Okay. And so as far as, I guess, kind of other updates, has St. Francis worked with the parents to set up family plans of service?
Yes, Sylvia we all developed family plans of service for both parents.
Okay. And Miss Arona, do you remember where exactly she's living?
Close to Garland, I believe.
Okay. And so is the department going to be able to help facilitate these services that are in her recommended service plan?
Yes, we found service providers in that area. I believe she's actually signed up to start her parenting classes tonight. There was an authorization with the counseling that is going to be hopefully corrected today, but she's doing services in that area. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So let's talk about her service plan first then. What are some of the services that we have asked her to complete that are specifically tailored to her needs in this case?
Some counseling. There are some concerns with some drug use, marijuana. That is a concern. So she will do an OSAR assessment.
And it looks like in the court report that there is actually a provider, the Carey Foot and Associates, that has been outlined to help facilitate some of that. Is that correct?
They will be able to facilitate all those services for her.
Perfect. What other services are we asking her to complete that are unique to her?
One of the things that's unique to her is her housing and employment. I mean, right now she is staying with her other child's grandparents. That's where the home study was actually conducted on. And right now she does not have employment.
Okay. And so are you wanting to see kind of more stability from her in regards to housing?
Yes, in employment and the drug use.
Okay. Now, has she been able to meet with either you or Sylvia to sign that family plan of service?
She and Sylvia, they went over the family plan of service, and then mom did not want to sign her family plan of service at the request of her attorney, but she is willing to work the services.
Okay. And so let's talk about Mr. Olivares then, and his service plan. Let's see. Now, do you have any kind of updates, or do you have any knowledge about where Mr. Olivares may be at this time?
He is actually incarcerated in Lubbock County now.
Oh, okay. And so he's no longer in Potter County, he's in Lubbock County?
Yeah, he was released from Potter County. He did have the opportunity to meet with Sylvia to sign his family plan of service, and she went over it with him. And then he is now incarcerated in Lubbock County.
Okay. If he's released, is it his intention to work these services here in the Amarillo area?
He says that he was willing to work services. He wants to work them at the VA, but he did say that that was a long process. So he was willing to start with us and then transfer him once he's able to get it into the VA.
And so what are some of the services that we have requested that he complete that are unique to this case?
We did ask him to do a TPC assessment for his mental health, some RBT and some parenting.
And one of the big issues, is it fair to say, in this case is Mr. Olivares' mental health and his management of those issues, correct?
Correct.
And do you believe that the services that we're asking for will help to alleviate those issues?
Yes.
All right. So at this time, kind of based on what we know, do you believe there's a continuing danger to placing Eden back with Victor Olivares at this time?
Yes.
Do you believe there's a continuing danger to Eden if we place him with Yesenia Arona at this time?
I do at this time, hoping to get the home study this week.
And what are some of our concerns with both of those placements?
The concern with Dad, of course, is his mental health. And now that he's back incarcerated, he's incarcerated in Lubbock for a new charge, obviously. So, I mean, that's a concern for him. As far as Mom is concerned, we are concerned with her positive drug test for marijuana with a pretty high level in February, and just employment.
And do you believe at this time it would be contrary to the best interest of the child and possibly a physical danger for him to return to either of those placements?
I do.
Now, what sort of visitation have we set up with the parents at this time?
Mom is actually doing virtual visits every Friday, and she has attended each of those. And if she comes to the area, we definitely would do a face-to-face visit with her and Eden. And then Dad, visitation has not been set up at this point because he kind of disappeared again.
Now that Eden is with Miss Arona's family, are those family members able to continue facilitating that visitation?
Yeah, Sylvia has actually been supervising it right now, and I think we will move, depending on where he is placed, to have whomever the placement is to facilitate that.
Okay. And do you believe the department is making reasonable efforts to reunify the family?
Yes.
How do you believe that they're making those efforts?
Well, he was placed with the paternal grandparents. Mom is working on some services, hopefully to get him back to her home. We have pending home studies on an aunt and a grandma. We're trying to keep him with family before we can get him back with Mom or Dad.
Do you believe that the visitation and the service plans that you've developed are going to help with reunifying Eden with his parents?
Yes.
Are you asking that the family plans of service that were developed for Miss Arona and Mr. Olivares be made a order of the court today?
Yes.
Are you recommending that the department remain as temporary managing conservator at this time?
Yes.
And I mean, are we intending to have Eden remain with the maternal grandparents until that home study is completed? What is our plan if that's not back before spring break ends?
I don't know if there's a solid plan. Mom's home study should actually come in first because it was done and we're just waiting. We thought we might have it Friday, so any day on Mom. The aunt's home study is actually scheduled to be done today, and it's been expedited. So we're hoping we have a plan. If not, we may talk to the aunt and the grandma The only concern is he goes to school in Bushland, so the aunt and grandma would have to take him to Bushland if he ended up staying there on a visit until we got a home study back. We have a placement request submitted for him, but I hate for him to go to a facility if we have these family members. So we're kind of just playing it by ear this week right now.
And the issue I'm assuming with the schools is that they can't change his registration or transfer him to the local school if they're not the education or they have those rights, correct?
Correct.
But otherwise, do you see any problems with him remaining with those maternal family members if needed?
No, there was no concerns when we did the checks, and Sylvia's been out to their home.
I will pass the witness, Judge.
All right, thank you. Ms. Collins, I assumed all along that Mr. Oliveris was in Potter County Jail as a result of what led to the removal. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you said he was released. Did he plead or did they dismiss or
I think he was out on bond.
in bond? Okay.
Mhm.
And do you know what he was why he's in Lubbock County Jail now?
Aggravated assault, but I don't have the details of who
Okay.
and what happened.
Totally different incident though.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right then, Mr. Barfield.
Thank you. So, Ms. Collins, it sounds to me like if the home study comes back on my client approved, then we would be moving placement to my client. Is that correct?
If the home study is approved, yes.
Okay. And then the alternate is if both home studies are approved, one with aunt and mom, I would assume that the priority would be with mom because she is the biological parent.
Correct.
Okay. And it sounds to me like she has cooperated with you and is beginning her service plan, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Saint.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Collins, do you know when Sylvia spoke to Mr. Olivares, was he the same or had he improved?
She actually was fairly impressed with the conversation she had with him.
Okay, so she was able to communicate with him pretty well.
Yes, and he understood the services. He was talking about what services he could get at the VA as opposed to what our services were.
And you said that he was arrested in Lubbock County. You said that was new charges. Is that something that's happened since he was released?
I don't know. Let me see if I can find it. The booking date was 3/5/25.
Okay.
And it says, well, you guys would probably understand the terms.
Well, the charges I see are the DWLI and possession charge less than 2 ounces.
Yes, that is correct. The other one was not correct. What I had said.
The assault family violence was the charge in
Correct. Yes, I'm sorry. I got them mixed up. You are correct. This is a drug charge.
Okay. Thank you. But he seemed to understand the services and he could actually carry on a conversation.
Yes.
Okay. And do you know if he was getting any treatment while he was in the facility?
In Potter County, I don't think that he was able to because I think he was in a confined cell.
Okay.
In containment, I think is what they call it.
Okay. So you don't know if he's getting medication or anything?
I do not.
Okay. Thank you. Pass the witness.
Mr. Saint, of what you were looking at, does that you said possession 2 ounces is marijuana? You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry, Judge. It says POM less than 2,000, so less than 2 ounces. So
that's marijuana.
Yeah. So
marijuana, yes.
So he's just got misdemeanor charges in Lubbock. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Wiggins.
Thank you, Judge. And Ms. Collins, did y'all order us or asking for a psychological evaluation on Dad or just a psychosocial?
We actually asked him to go to TPC for a mental health assessment.
And with TPC, do you know that they just generally screen for drugs, whether or not someone is wanting to be on drugs or classified for drugs and not necessarily diagnosing?
No, TPC, the mental health part of it. Texas
Okay.
Panhandle Centers, I mean, they
Yes.
won't do the drugs. It's a mental health assessment. A psychological may not be a bad idea.
Okay. And in regards to the maternal aunt and grandmother, when was he moved?
He just went there Friday when he got out of school.
Okay, so we weren't notified then?
He's not placed in their home. He's there on a visit. He was intending to go there, whether the paternal grandparents kept him or not, because the paternal grandparents left on Saturday to go to Mexico, and he was not going to go. And so he's there with the aunt and the grandma on a visit at this point.
Okay. And where do they live?
In Amarillo.
And you indicated they haven't given you an answer on whether or not they would transport him to Bushland for school?
No, we haven't even inquired about that.
Okay. And in regards to the dad, was he in contact with the department before he was picked up in Lubbock?
Yes, Sylvia actually met with him face to face and went over his family plan of service at the St. Francis office.
And so from our reports from Eden, he was not doing well in school. Are we helping with that in any way that we can?
Yes, he was having some behavioral issues. He was diagnosed with ADHD at a psychiatric appointment the last week of school. And they did prescribe some ADHD medication, which he will start taking.
Okay. And is he seeing a counselor? Mr. Day, I believe.
Yes. I can't remember which one did his psychosocial and which one's going to do his therapy, but yes, he's in therapy.
Okay. All right. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Anyone have further questions for Ms. Collins?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Saint, anything further from the department?
I would be for the department judge, but no, we don't have
I'm
anything
sorry.
further.
Mr. Saint. Mr. Saint, did you have any witnesses?
No, Judge.
All right. Mr. Barfield, any witnesses?
I just want to ask my client a couple of questions, Judge.
Okay. Let me find it. Ma'am, if you'd
Miss-
unmute.
Yesenia, my apologies.
Ms. Arona, if you'd raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Barfield.
Yes, Yesenia, I just want to ask you, you've been on the hearing all day. Do you feel things are moving smoothly?
Yes.
Okay, and you're willing to cooperate with the department and work whatever services necessary for reunification. Is that correct?
Correct.
And do you have any questions about any services or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
No.
Okay, that's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Ms. Wildman, questions for her?
I do.
Go ahead,
I do
ma'am.
have one.
Sure.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
She stated that my drug screen came out dirty. Could you request a copy of that? Because it was not dirty.
Okay, we will.
It came out.
Yeah, any drug screens that come up will be delivered both to me, to the court, and to all parties involved. That's typical procedure. So yes, we will receive copies.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Ms. Collins, were you aware of a dirty drug test or?
The hair follicle, I think, has been filed with the court.
And
Where it was
positive?
It was positive for marijuana. Her UAs have been negative.
Okay, all right. That may be where the difference is. Okay, anyone else have questions for Ms. Arona?
No, Your Honor.
All right,
I do, Judge.
go
Sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
Ms. Arona, was it your first time hearing that Eden had been diagnosed with ADHD?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so had you realized or suspected that he had ADHD before he was placed in care?
No.
Okay, and has he ever been on medication for anything?
No.
Are you willing to continue the ADHD medication if he's placed with you?
Yes.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, anyone else?
No, Judge.
All right, then, anyone have further witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then, Ms. Wiggins, recommendations?
I recommend that the department remain temporary managing conservator. I don't really know what my recommendation is regarding his placement because I didn't know until just now that that was an issue. We had talked to them. I knew they were having some issues with him following the rules at paternal grandparents' house, but it does come as a surprise to me that they did say they could not no longer care for him. I would obviously prefer that he stay any way we can with the maternal grandmother and aunt. I do not want him placed, especially with his behavioral issues, in a non-family placement. So I would just ask the court if that's going to happen. We need to have an emergency hearing because I think we need to discuss that.
Okay. All right, give me just a second. Okay, then I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator, continue the current placement. I'll order the services for each parent as contained in their service plans, and I'll order that Eden not be moved or not be placed with a non-family member without a prior court order. So if we're getting close to the end of spring break and nothing has materialized, somebody let us know so we can squeeze in another hearing on this. So, let's see, I thought I had something else here. Can't remember what it was. Okay, Ms. Rona, if you'd unmute, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need to admonish you that the services that are contained in your service plan become a court order today. At a final hearing, if you haven't worked those services, your parental rights could be altered or terminated. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, that's just something I have to tell every parent once we got the service plan entered as an order. So, and Mr. Sain, if you would please, when you talk to your client next time, advise him the same thing about what happens if he doesn't work his services. So.
Yes, sir.
Okay, our next hearing will be an initial permanency hearing. That will be on July 7th, 2025. It will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two before July 7th to see exactly what time we'll have that hearing. Okay, that will conclude this hearing. We'll be in recess. I'll be back at 11:15 to call another Randall County case. That's a permanency review after. Ms. Wildman is with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us for the child. Mr. Saint is with us representing the alleged father, Mr. Oliveras, who I show is incarcerated. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell if he was in Lubbock County or Potter County.
Potter County, Judge.
Okay. And Mr. Barfield's with us representing the mother, Miss Arono. And she is with us. Okay, I have Sylvia Garcia in the waiting room.
Judge, that would be my caseworker.
Okay. All right, then. Ms. Wildman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. The department would call Sylvia Garcia. All right, so let's get an update on Eden. Is he still currently placed with his aunt and uncle?
Yes, he is.
And how has he been doing since our last hearing?
So he's been doing well. They've had some adjustments, and then sometimes he'll misbehave, just, regular behavior, nothing out of the ordinary that would cause any concerns. But he does sometimes tend to misbehave whenever he does not get what he wants. But they do, redirect him, and discipline is taking away electronics and things of that sort, privileges. So he usually does very well whenever, he needs to be disciplined. He'll kind of get back, to his regular behavior and just continue on his day.
Okay. And Eden, if I remember correctly, has he been evaluated for? Has he been diagnosed with ADHD?
Yes, so he was diagnosed with ADHD, and he does do a meta review monthly that his aunt takes him to. And so far, everything's been going well with that. They have not upped his dose or anything, but he still is taking his medication daily as prescribed.
All right. And is he still doing individual therapy?
Yes, he does individual therapy bi-weekly.
Okay. And are they kind of helping to address some of those issues that have come up in therapy?
Yes. So usually either aunt or uncle will drop him off, and they have been a little bit more open to speaking to the therapist about some of the issues that are happening at the home so the therapist can address them.
Okay, perfect. And so how did he finish out the school year?
He was promoted. to the third grade, so he was excited about that. He's doing very well in school. There is a pending testing for him it's basically just to see if he needs any assistance. Because he was diagnosed with ADHD, he actually would qualify for additional assistance in school. So we're kind of just waiting for them to do the educational testing that they do, and then so that they could have an official ARD meeting on him, so they could see what skills they're going to put into play and how they're going to help him, to meet those academic requirements where he needs to be.
Do you know if they were able to complete that before school got out? Are they going to do it during the summer, or are they hoping to do that at the beginning of the next school year?
They're hoping to do it at the beginning of the next school year because they did not have sufficient time to get all of that testing done, because it does take, she said it would take about at least like 30 to 60 days to get him on schedule and to get the testing going. So it would probably be best to continue for the next school year.
But the information regarding the ADHD diagnosis and all that, can that be presented to the school ahead of time, so at least that they're aware once school gets started and can start kind of maybe addressing it informally?
Yes, so we've already submitted all those documents to them, and they said once he starts the school, they will start putting some different skills into play, whichever school he attends. Right now, placement is still kind of deciding on where they want to put him in school, if they're going to put him where he was at currently, or if they're just going to place him somewhere closer to them.
Because he had been continuing to attend in Bushland, where he was originally placed with grandparents, correct?
That's correct.
And current placement lives in the Amarillo School District, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Now, is there any other updates that we need on Eden regarding the court needs to be made aware of?
Currently, no.
All right. Let's get an update then about the parents and their services. Let's start with the father, Victor Olivares. What kind of contact have you had with him since our last hearing?
Since our last hearing, I was only having a monthly contact with him. So I would reach out to the phone number that he had, and it always goes straight to voicemail, or it would say that the phone was not in service. So I had to start going in person just to kind of do a drop by, an unannounced visit to see him. And that was kind of the only type of contact that I would have with him. If it was unannounced and he didn't know that I was coming, is kind of how I would catch him at his home. Usually it's really brief questions, and then Mr. Olivares gets a little bit agitated and he will no longer, answer my questions, or he'll just make other remarks that are not related to the case about previous cases that he's had. So mainly the only contact I was having was just once a month whenever I would come and look for him.
Now, is that the same home that he was living in when the case originally started?
That's correct.
And who does he live with there?
Currently, it looked like he was living with a friend, and that was a male friend that he was living there with. It wasn't anybody from the original removal.
Okay. All right. Have you been able to talk to him at all about whether or not he's engaged in any of the services that he was ordered to do in his family plan of service?
So the past couple of months, Mr. Olivares has been in Potter County, and so usually I went to go see him those 2 times, and usually whenever he's in jail, he's actually a little bit more willing to speak to me and kind of concentrate a little bit more on what I'm saying to him. When I did speak to him this previous month, he did tell me that he did want to engage in his services. He was moved from being isolated to actually being in population. So he actually is able now to do a little bit more other things that other inmates can do, as far as like parenting classes. So we were either going to look into trying to get him signed up for the parenting classes that are given there in the jail, or to getting him a parent packet so that he can kind of work on that to try to get that out of the way. But as far as any of his other services, the jail does not provide any of those other services.
And to your knowledge, did he work any of the services that he'd initially stated he was going to work through the VA hospital? Has he started any of those or completed any of those?
He has not.
So is it fair to say at this time he has not completed any of the services, and at least to your knowledge is not enrolled in them yet?
That's correct.
All right. Let's talk about the mother, Yesenia Orona. Since the last court hearing, has she relocated back up here to Amarillo?
Yes, she has.
Okay, and so what sort of communication and contact are you able to have with her?
So Yesenia is actually very good at communicating with me. Anytime she has any changes or anything going on, she's immediately will contact me. The change of address, change of phone numbers. She usually, from the 2 changes that she's had, she's contacted me within the 7 days that we require. As far as our monthly contact, Yesenia does. She was doing a courtesy worker was seeing her when she was out of town, and they didn't have any issues seeing her. And then Yesenia would still do monthly check-ins with me just to kind of give me an update on what she had going on. Now that she's here in Amarillo, I am able to see her face to face. So I do see her monthly, even with our face to face contact that we have. Yesenia will text me any type of updates that she has or anything that she comes across that she might need help with.
All right, and does she have her own place here in Amarillo?
She does not. She's currently living with another sister, not placement.
Okay. Is she looking into getting her own place?
Yes, we actually have sat down and discussed me kind of taking a couple of hours in the morning to drive her around to get applications filled out for her, to help her with that, and to help with the transportation, because that's a little bit of what she needs help with.
Okay. So she's at least attempting to find a place. Is she trying to find a job?
Yes. So she was working at Whataburger whenever she lived out of town. And then they were trying to transfer her somewhere here in Amarillo, but that didn't kind of fall through for her. So now she is just kind of starting to find employment again. She has to find employment again.
Okay. And so from what you're saying, it sounds like you don't have any problem in helping her try to get that taken care of so she can kind of gain some stability?
That's correct.
All right, so what about some of the services that she was ordered to do? Has she completed any of them, or what is her progress?
So she's completed her counseling. She was discharged as completed in May. And then as far as her parenting classes, she has done 3 out of the 6, and she is still currently enrolled in doing some this week that should put her closer to being completed with those. She does have to do the education, alcohol and drug education course, and that's going to be done through the Family Support Services. They did say that they would have to put her in the next group that they had because they had a session set for 7/7, but she was not able to do that course just because they weren't able to process her paperwork fast enough to get her in that course itself. So she's going to be scheduled for the next one.
Okay.
But she has completed the OSAR and she has completed the psychosocial.
Were there any recommendations from either the psychosocial or the OSAR that we need to address or add to the service plan today?
No.
And has she continued to drug screen for the department?
Yes, she has drug screened every month that I've asked her to drug screen.
And based on your report, have the results, at least as of May, been negative so far?
Yes, they have been negative.
All right. Okay, so what is going on with visitation between Miss Orona and Eden?
So it has moved to 2 hours every either Friday or Saturday, just depending on placement. Placement is actually supervising those visits, and that's currently where we're at.
Do those visits, from your knowledge, have they been going well?
Yes, they've been going well so far.
And it looks like maybe there had been some issue with attendance and visits, but that has no longer been an issue since she came to Amarillo. Is that correct?
That's correct. whenever she first came to Amarillo, she was here just for a family emergency. So during those couple of weeks that she was here, she wasn't technically missing the visits, but the visits were done in person and not virtually.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. And and correct me if I'm wrong, is there currently an court order that Mr. Oliveras not have visitation with Eden until he works his services?
That's correct.
All right. And so at this point, do you believe the department's making reasonable efforts to help reunify the family?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe by helping to facilitate those services that the department's doing that?
Yes, I do.
And by helping transport Miss Arona so she can hopefully find a place in employment, you think that that's a reasonable effort to help reunify Eden with her?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe trying to engage with Mr. Oliveras, even in jail, and setting him up for services, that's a reasonable effort to reunify with him?
Yes, I do.
What are some of the continuing dangers with placing Eden back home with Mr. Oliveras?
Currently is that he has not made any progress in services. And then also the drug screening, we haven't been able to get a drug screen from him. So those are continuously issues that we have that would put Eden in danger. He does have a home, but not being able to go inside his home and see if he has running utilities and all of those things would also pose a danger right now.
Is it also a concern that he has been in and out of jail at least, I guess, twice now since this case has begun?
It is.
As far as Miss Arona, what are some of the continuing danger concerns we have with placing Eden back with her at this time?
Currently, it's just stability. She needs to have housing and needs to have a stable employment so that way she can thrive once we reunify.
Okay. And I mean, in your opinion, is she making good progress towards completing those services?
I think she is. The only issue that we kind of had was that set us back a little bit was whenever she relocated, because it was just kind of having to transfer everything here to try to get her going. But once that was all put into play, she showed up for her services, showed up for those assessments. So now we're just following the recommendations of those assessments.
And in the transparency for the court, does Miss Arona have another one of her children still in her custody at this time?
She does.
Now, is there anything else the court needs to be made aware of at this time regarding the parents of the child?
There's not.
And we're not asking for any additional services for anybody at this time, correct?
That's correct.
All right, I will pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Garcia, do you know what Mr. Oliveras is in Potter County Jail for right now?
If I'm correct, it was a DUI and driving on a suspended license.
No, I thought that's what he went to Lubbock for. I was real confused about why he was in Lubbock and Potter. And
whenever I went to see him in person, he said that he got pulled over again.
Okay. Well, somewhere in some report I read something about he had a child endangerment charge. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Besides the initial removal.
Okay. All right, Mr. Barfield, questions?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Garcia, as soon as it seems that my client, Yesenia, is working with your department well based on your report and your testimony today, what type of timetable would the department have for maybe expanding visits between mom and Miss Arona, assuming she continues on this same trajectory?
So we have been wanting to extend them longer. The only thing that's kind of pending right now is that we were kind of wanting to do visits with her at her sister's house where she is currently residing. But sister kind of has some reservations on us doing a background check so that we could actually have those visits there at their place and extend them for about 4 hours.
So assuming, and I know we're making an assumption here, if the sister or if Miss Arona finds her own place, the department would not be opposed to extending those visits, given the circumstances.
That's correct.
That's all the questions I have, Judge.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wiggins? I'm sorry, Mr. Saint first.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Garcia, you talked about difficulty communicating with Mr. Olivares. Is it your understanding he has some mental health disorders?
Yes, that's correct.
And they can be kind of severe at times where he's almost nonsensical. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay. Do you have concerns about at times how much he can actually understand about what's going on?
I do. Sometimes whenever I go see him, I ask a couple of questions and he's doing good and he answers back. And it sounds like he's understanding what I'm asking. And then, I mean, if we get more than 4 to 5 questions, he just kind of starts rambling off into a whole other different discussion.
Do you think that from a social worker standpoint, do you feel it might be beneficial for him to have a guardian ad litem to look out for his best interest, as well as having an attorney working for his legal interest?
I think it would be in his best interest, just so that he could get more of an explanation besides just me trying to help him work the services.
And his access, do you have any idea what his access to mental health services is while he's incarcerated?
He told me that basically it's just whenever the nurse sees him, if he puts in a request type of situation, that's whenever they're willing to see him.
But when he was not incarcerated, did it seem to you that he was taking steps to address his mental health?
It did not seem like he was. He was doing, actually, he does better whenever he's in jail. He just kind of seems like he's more coherent with what's going on around him, and he is more willing to elaborate with me what he wants to do as far as working the case, doing his parenting time, and working towards all of those things. Just that's kind of where he's at whenever he's in jail.
But I guess regardless, just like everything else in our cases, regardless of what mental health services are available to him, it's whether or not he's going to take advantage of those and really make an effort. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Just like with a drug addict, it can't be forced. He's got to take steps himself.
Yes.
Okay. And is that one of your major concerns right now, is for him not being able to, besides being incarcerated, be in possession of his children, is his mental health?
Yes, because Mr. Olivares has shown he's been emotional whenever I speak about, when I give him updates about Eden and let him know, like, hey, he got promoted, he just had a birthday, this is what was going on. When I speak about Eden and I give him updates, he tends to get emotional. He has expressed that he does not want to get his rights terminated. And I know that he's just kind of having a hard time when it comes to his mental health.
So there's no doubt in your mind that he loves his child?
There's no doubt.
The concern is his mental ability to be a parent, as well as obviously his criminal cases and everything.
Correct.
Okay. And I guess that mental situation could affect how much or to what extent he can even complete services.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Wiggins.
Thank you, Judge. And I did look at the jail roster. He is in for DWI 3rd or more. In Potter County jail roster just now.
I thought the report I read said he was in there. It was somewhere for a DWLI, not a DWI. So thank you for that.
Well, he has a county charge, so that could be the ticket. The DWLI.
From the report I read, it was not real clear, but it looked like he was in Potter County jail. It ended up in Lubbock County jail and back in Potter County. Am I correct or incorrect?
I think you're correct, and I think that they are all separate charges, because I think we looked up the Lubbock charge maybe at the last hearing.
something about a possession of marijuana. I don't know where that took place.
I think that was in Lubbock.
Okay, so he's back here on the DWI third. Is he through with Lubbock? As far
I
as
don't see any out of county holds on their public roster, Judge, but I
Okay.
cannot promise you that he is.
All right, well, I'm just going to assume for today that he's just here on a DWI third. And while we're at that, I'm still showing he's an alleged father. Am I correct or incorrect? Does anybody know?
I was just about to ask Miss Garcia if she had talked to him about whether or not he was the father and that. So
Yeah, Miss Garcia, have you had any conversations that were meaningful with Mr. Oliveris about whether he's the biological father of this child or not?
He's never denied to me that he is not the father. He always says that Eden is his son and that he does not, want to lose his son. So those are the conversations we've had.
Well, I just think everybody needs to be aware that I haven't read anything yet to say that he's presumed or acknowledged that he's still alleged, and we know where he is. Mr. Saint, if you could, are you having conversations with your client?
I have attempted to have a conversation with him that went nowhere, Your Honor. And I know when he appeared at the last, at one of the hearings before, he couldn't even sit still or things. I'm going to try to reach out to him again. Other than that, I'm not sure. I was not able to have a conversation to get any information from him. He just went off into stuff and started attacking me like he knew me or something. I don't know.
Okay, well, I just, especially if he's got some mental issues, I'm going to appoint a guardian ad litem for him, but at some point, we either need to, in fairness to him, we either need to get him paternity tested or we need to do something with that. Because if he's got a diminished mental capacity, we've got to bend over backwards to find out that he is in fact really the biological father. So okay.
I agree. Your Honor.
Yeah,
Thank
let's
you.
let's not let that slip through the cracks.
Judge, do you want to just go ahead and order the paternity testing today?
I will. I plan to, unless, if he pops up and wants to sign an acknowledgement of paternity. If we get one or the other of those, then we've covered our bases and do the paternity registry search. So, okay. Ms. Wildman, did you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Barfield, any witnesses?
Miss Arona, I'll just call her very briefly to ask, make sure she's on board.
Sure. Mr. Arona, if you'd unmute, please.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you'd raise your right hand, do you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Yesenia, you heard Miss Garcia's report to the court, is that correct?
Correct.
And did everything appear to be accurate based upon her historical rendition of what's been going on in the case?
Yes.
And are you continuing to work your services?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about what you're supposed to be doing at this point?
No.
Okay. If you do have questions, to contact my office and we can make sure you're understanding what you need to be doing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. What's your current status in regards to, and I understand that was a big move. What is you are currently making applications for jobs and places to live?
Yes.
Okay. And as soon as you make progress, would you agree to let Ms. Garcia and my office know on your progress so we can stay current on your situation?
Absolutely.
And in regards to visits with your child, assuming they can work the logistics out, are you asking that you have some more extended visits as previously discussed with your child in this particular case?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Gutierrez, any questions for her?
It would be me, Judge. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Ms. Wildman.
You're right. Just real briefly, Miss Arona, do you know what is the issue that your sister has, the sister you're living with has with doing a criminal history and background so that she can potentially help facilitate those visits?
I'm not. I think it's more like personal for her. She doesn't have anything on her background, honestly, but I'm just not too sure how she really feels about it.
Is there anybody else? I mean, is there anybody else that you can suggest to the court that might be able to help facilitate visits and maybe would be able to either take or pass a background check?
I'm not too sure at the moment.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Mr. Saint, questions?
Briefly, Ms. Arona, you may have been asked this before. I apologize. Are there any other possible fathers?
No.
For Mr. Olivares' charge? So you're positive that it's him?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I pass the witness.
All right. Ms. Arona, has there ever been any kind of court proceeding about Eden? Like maybe you went after Mr. Olivares for child support or anything like that?
Yes, I have applied for child support on Mr. Olivares. It shows we do have an active case, but we haven't attended court or anything over it. So I'm not sure how they're going along about that.
What county was that in?
I was in Oklahoma, but I believe it was in Texas. My two cases are currently out of Texas.
Out of Texas?
Out of here.
Out of where in Texas?
Yes, out of Amarillo.
All right. So Potter or Randall?
Amarillo.
Either Potter or Randall?
I believe Randall.
Okay. You guys need to check both counties. Maybe we don't have an issue about paternity. So
we didn't find anything previously, Judge, but I can have them recheck.
Okay. You wouldn't have any paperwork from any kind of court that would give them a cause number, do you, Ms. Arona?
I could actually get on to the Attorney General Office portal, and I believe there's a case number on there for that case. We've never established
anything you can find out. Give that to St. Francis so that we can get this issue of paternity out of the way. So.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, then, Ms. Wildman, anything further?
No, Your Honor, just the reasonable efforts and continuing danger findings, and then I think that's it.
Okay. All right, then, anyone else have any further witnesses?
No further witnesses, Judge. I will tell the court, I will get with Miss Arona and we will figure out, maybe I can talk to the sister too as well, and for if the court would not oppose some expanded visits, maybe if I talk to the sister and kind of explain kind of how this stuff works, that might. I certainly understand an individual having concerns about the government doing an investigation, so I'll try to assist in that regard.
Okay. Well, I mean, are we talking about the sister for her to supervise visits, or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's all we're talking about.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have no problem with Ms. Rona having additional visitation. It may have to be supervised by St. Francis, but yes, as far as that, I don't have a problem with ordering increased visitation today. So, okay.
Thank you, Judge.
And Judge, can we clarify that? Because I thought we were doing the background check so they could have visits at her house, the sister's apartment. That's what I thought we were having.
Right. That's what I'm talking. Just so everybody's on the same page. That's literally what I'm talking about.
I can call Miss Silva or Miss Garcia back real quick and just ask her sort of what St. Francis was wanting to do, because she did testify that they want to do increased visitation. Maybe that'll clarify it.
Go ahead, Miss Garcia, if you'd unmute again.
So we are wanting to do increase the visits and do them at Miss Orona's house, or where she's currently staying with her sister. The reason being is because I know that placement has facilitated, the last, for the past couple of months, they've been facilitating those in-person visits for 2 hours in their home. And so they would kind of like a little bit of relief. So that's why we were trying to do them to be at Miss Orona's home with her sister there, so that way we can increase them and we could help have some relief for placement and also increase that visitation.
Okay. So I mean, what I'll do is I'll just order increased visitation. If, obviously we can't make sister submit to any kind of background check if she doesn't want to. So if she doesn't want to, then we'll just have to increase the visitation somewhere else. So, okay. All right. Does anybody else have any further witnesses? All right, then, Ms. Wiggins, recommendations?
Thank you, Judge. I recommend that the department remain temporary managing conservator of the child. His placement be continued. Visited him there. He was very happy, very comfortable in the placement, very obsessed with Legos, and was really, really talkative, which was great. Super sweet kid. He does enjoy his visits with his mom, so I have no objection with increasing, as you've already ruled, visitation with her. Again, I would continue the no visitation with the father until he addresses his mental health issues. I know that that's one thing that actually caused the removal, and he was a little wanting his father to be calmer, I think is how he phrased it. And also, I think you already ruled on it, but I think with his mental health issues, I think it might be best to get the DNA test out of the way. I didn't see anything on the CCEJ check for an open case, so.
Okay. All right, then. I will continue the department's temporary managing conservator, continue Eden's current placement. I'll order paternity testing for the child and Mr. Oliveras. And I'll order increased visitation for Miss Arona. I'll order there be no visitation between Mr. Oliveras and the child until further court order. All right, I'll set our next hearing for November 3rd, 2025. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys, or parties can ask their attorneys, or anyone can go on the court's online docket a day or two before November 3rd to see exactly what time of day we'll have the hearing that day. So. All right, we'll be in recess on this case. I'll be back here very shortly to call a motion to participate.
And I think, Judge, I don't know if Mr. State was going to address this. I think they are going to modify their pleading to add the mental health termination ground. And so that will appoint him a guardian ad litem. And I don't know if that's something the court was in favor of.
I've already made a note. I'm going to go ahead and appoint a guardian ad litem for him regardless whether that's the ground or not.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Sounds like
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. All right, I'll see some of you back here in about 5 minutes. Okay, it's a little past 1:15. Ms. Wildman's with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the child. Mr. Barfield is with us representing the mother, Miss Arona, who is also with us. Mr. Michelson is with us as guardian ad litem for the father, Victor Oliveras, who's with us. Mr. Saint represents Mr. Oliveras as his attorney ad litem. He is not with us and not in the waiting room. We'll go ahead and get started, and I'll watch for him. I do have Sylvia Garcia in the waiting room.
And that's my worker, Judge.
Okay, everyone is with us. No one's in the waiting room. Miss Wildman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. The department would call Sylvia Garcia.
Okay.
And how long have you been assigned to this case?
I have been on this case since February 28th.
And so is it fair to say you've had the opportunity to work with the parents and are familiar with the case?
Yes.
All right, and so let's get an update on Eden. Eden is currently placed with one of his aunts, correct?
That's correct.
And previously, had he been in a different kinship placement?
Yes, he had.
All right, and so as far as placement, have those two, the previous placement and the current placement, are they still having respite care and having him at different times?
Yes, they are.
And so what sort of, I guess, schedule are they currently on?
It's basically said as bi-weekly. There is some instance where grandparents would not be able to bring him, but that's just something that they communicate with placement. And once they've made arrangements that fits their schedule, they let me know if I am okay with their plans that they have for him to go on a weekend with them.
Okay, so is that going pretty good and the families are working that out fairly well?
Yes, it's actually going very well.
All right, and so how's Eden been doing since school started back up?
He's been doing good. He's actually doing very good in school. He has struggled a little bit with math and reading, but that's just a little bit about from him being a little bit behind. And then also, they haven't yet done the testing for the IEP. So he is, struggling a bit, but so far his aunt has stepped in and she's made sure that, he gets the help that he needs at home with them. And then she's also already pushing for the testing so that we can make sure that it gets done as soon as possible.
All right. And so what grade is he in now?
He's in 3rd grade.
All right. And so as far as the ADHD diagnosis, has he still not been getting any kind of services for that for school, or is he getting services for that through the school? Or accommodations, I guess, may be the better way to phrase that.
So he hasn't yet. That's what the IEP meeting is
Okay.
for. They have to first do their testing, and then after they basically cross out all of the diagnostic testing on him, then they would move forward with just the plan to basically tailor to the ADHD that he needs help with.
Gotcha. And has
Can you
he?
interrupt you for just a second? Mr. Saint's in the waiting room. Let me get him in.
Oh, perfect.
All right. For the record, Mr. Saint has now joined us along as the attorney ad litem for Mr. Oliveris, who's with us. Go ahead, Mr. Alvin. You may continue.
Thank you, Judge. So, is he currently taking psychotropic medication for the ADHD diagnosis?
Yes, he is.
And has that appeared to help?
Yes, it has.
And is he having that reviewed regularly as required?
Yes, he does.
Or is the aunt able to get him to the appointments for that to be reviewed?
Yes, she does.
Perfect. All right. And so, as far as Eden is concerned, are the aunt, or I guess his current placement, still having some sort of kind of behavioral concerns at home?
Yes, a lot of it has to do with just with him following the rules and kind of having to be redirected more than once, and him basically noticing that the discipline between, his cousins and himself is different. So he likes to kind of play devil's advocate and push his limits. So, but either than that, I mean, he does well with them.
And when you say the discipline is different, is that because of the DFPS restrictions on certain types of discipline?
Yes.
Okay. And so, is that part of the reason why he's doing those weekends with the grandparents to give everybody a break?
Yes, it is.
Okay. But overall, does he seem to be doing well in placement?
Yes, he does.
And are there any other updates we need on Eden at this time?
Not at this time.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the parents and the progress they're making. Is it true that Mr. Oliveris has been released from custody?
Yes, it is.
All right, and so have you had the opportunity to meet with him since he was released from custody and talk to him about his services?
Yes, I've met with him and we have regular communication now that he is out.
All right, and so what sort of progress is he making on his services?
So he has started his parenting classes and he has completed 5 out of the 6 parenting classes that is required. He is also doing individual therapy at the VA, and he's also doing a drug and alcohol education course there at the VA. And all of that should be completed within the first 45 days that he is there with them.
All right. As far as housing and income, what sort of, and I guess transportation, what's going on there?
So for housing, he's currently being housed at the VA. So he's in a program with the VA, basically to get him back stabled, because he has kind of been in and out of jail for the past couple of months. So he did kind of lose on some benefits, and he lost his house that he had previously that he was renting out. So basically the program that he is in currently with the VA is basically just to help him get stable back within the community. And so he has to first complete his 45 days, and then they'll transition him into a different program. But all of it allows him to continue receiving his VA benefits because he's 100% disabled, and then also to get him back to having some stability as far as housing goes.
Okay. And the program that he's in, is that going to be addressing both of the mental health concerns that have been raised as part of this case, as well as the substance abuse issues?
Yes, basically they have the program there that just goes over the importance of him taking his medication and then just, educating him on all of those things, just as a refresher for him.
Okay, perfect. And so, I think in your court report it said he was going to start with Jennings and Associate, but does the VA program and the services he's doing there, is that going to be good for St. Francis as far as checking the boxes on those parts of the service plan?
Yes, it will.
Okay, great. And so as far as visitation right now, is it fair to say that visitation had been suspended by court order?
Yes, it had.
And is the department wanting to restart that?
We are.
And what, I guess, now you're aware that the court, because Mr. Oliveras hadn't been involved in the case, had ordered for a paternity test, I think at the last hearing, right?
Correct.
Now, as far as paternity, what has Mr. Oliveras and Miss Arona told you as far as that's concerned?
They have stated that Mr. Oliveras is the father. Both Miss Orona and Mr. Oliveras have both stated that.
And I guess from the department's perspective, or from St. Francis' perspective, are we wanting to go ahead and restart that visitation if we can, even if that paternity testing is still pending?
We would like to wait until the paternity test comes back. Because I know that Mr. Oliveras said that he would like to just, make sure that we get the paternity test done, so that it's on record.
Are there any other barriers to restarting that visitation as far as St. Francis is concerned?
There is. We also want him to provide a UA that is negative, so that way we can make sure that Eden is safe.
Perfect. So if those two conditions are met, are you asking that the court allow visitation to resume?
Yes, we are.
And otherwise, has he been complying with the department, and are we seeing, I guess, positive progress as far now that he's been released?
He is complying with the department, and yes, we have seen positive progress since he has been released.
At this point, is it possible, or what sort of concerns does the department have with sending, or with Eden moving back in with Dad or placing back with Dad? What are our continuing danger concerns?
The continuing danger concern is that we would like for him to finish the program that he is with the VA, since that does tailor to his medications. It tailors to him having stability, and those are things that he will need so that Eden and him could be successful if ever unification was to take place.
At this point, does he have a home that Eden could return to?
He currently does not, because the program that he is in does not allow for his son to be there at the VA.
Okay. Do you believe the department is making reasonable efforts to reunify him with Eden?
Yes, I do.
And do you believe that the service plan and the program that he's in are going to be positive steps towards that reunification?
Yes, I do.
All right. And so let's talk about Miss Arona and the progress that she's been making. At this point, what services, if any, does she still need to complete?
She is needing just to complete the Padre program, which was the recommendation from the Ozark.
Okay. And as far as drug screening, has she been drug screening consistently?
Yes, she has.
When the last drug screening date in your court report was September 29th. Was that the last screen that you've done?
We did one in October.
Okay. Have those results come back yet?
Yes, they have.
All right. And are there any new concerns with those results?
No, there is not any new concerns with those results.
All right. And so have those all been UAs, or has she done a hair follicle at all since the last one in February?
She's done a hair follicle in October.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. And has that result also come back?
Yes, it has.
All right, great. And so same thing, no concerns?
No concerns.
All right, so tell me a little bit about what's been going on with the housing situation.
So Miss Arona is currently living with one of her other sisters, and in the before, she was not letting us do a background check. Her sister was not. But recently, as of October 31st, she did allow me to do a background check on her. And so were able to move forward with more flexibility as far as doing longer visitation, and then also talking about possibly reunifying Miss Arona soon.
Perfect. Now, what kind of house, or I guess what kind of living situation does Miss Arona and her sister currently have?
Currently, they're living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and her sister also has a child of her own, and Miss Arona has a younger child too that is half sibling to Eden. And so the 2-bedroom apartment is big enough for them for right now. We would like for Eden to have a little bit more space, but there is space in that apartment for a full-size bed or even a twin-size bed for Eden.
Now, what's the plan? I guess what's Miss Arona and her sister's plan as far as that apartment?
So the lease is up in December of 2025, and they are wanting to be moved out at the beginning of the year to at least a 3-bedroom that would give them more space, so that there would be more space for the kids, and they wouldn't have any issues as far as the kids being in each other's space.
Okay, and so, what sort of progress has been made towards Miss Arona and employment?
So she's part-time working, and she did provide employment verification of that. And then she recently started working at Stars, and so that is also full-time employment there.
Okay, good. So prior, and when did she turn over those pay stubs?
She turned those over. I actually don't have the date in front of me, but I can provide that in a future date.
That's all right. I mean, was it recently that she turned those over?
Yes, it was recently.
Okay, and so, is it fair to say that Miss Arona, just in the last month or so, is starting to show more stability as far as income, employment, and housing?
Yes.
Now, previously, with her sister refusing to do the background check, was that a concern for the department?
It was a concern.
Did it turn out that there were any concerns that came up out of that after she agreed to do it?
No, there was no concerns.
All right, and so, as of right now, does the department still have some concerns about seeing some long-term stability and her keeping her job and moving into that new place?
Yes, there is. Just because the employment is fairly new, the full-time employment that she just got is fairly new. So we would like to see her have a little bit more consistency as far as that goes, and then also being able to navigate pickup and drop-offs for the boys, because she's going to need it. One of them is going to daycare, and the other one will be going full-time to school.
And so what sort of increase in visitation have we recently approved?
It's approved for 6 hours supervised, and that could be supervised by placement or with her older sister, Alicia.
And is that the one she's living with currently?
Yes.
All right. And if things go well and if the apartment that they move into at the beginning of the year is appropriate, are we looking at hopefully starting to reunify?
Yes, those are our plans.
Okay, so at this point, do you still believe that there's a continuing danger as far as placing him back in the home right now?
Yes, we do.
Do you, at this point, I guess from what I'm hearing, believe that hopefully everything would be good to start reunifying prior to our final hearing in January or February?
Yes.
All right, and visitation is going good?
Yes, visitation is going good.
All right, and so do you think increasing visitation is going to give Miss Arona more time to work on those parenting skills and show that she's able to have Eden home and work through his behaviors?
Yes, we do.
Perfect. Do you need to ask for any other services or anything for either of the parents?
No.
Are you asking that placement be continued and that the department remain temporary managing conservator?
Yes, I am.
All right, anything else that the court needs to be made aware of or updated on?
No.
All right, I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, thank you. Ms. Garcia, can you think of any reason we couldn't go ahead and start some unsupervised visits for Ms. Cerrone at this time?
No, Judge.
Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Barfield, questions?
You stole my thunder, Judge. That's what I was going to request.
Okay. All right, then, Mr. Saint, do you have any questions as far as for Mr. Oliveris being his attorney ad litem?
Yes, Judge, briefly, and my apologies for being late, Judge. I don't know why 1:30 was stuck in my mind, but
That's okay. We barely started.
Ms. Garcia, Mr. Oliveris is greatly improved since the start of the case. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the biggest issue was his mental health,
Yes,
and that seems to be stable now.
it does.
Okay, you don't have any concerns that he's not taking his medicine or anything like that, correct?
Correct.
So it's pretty obvious when he's not taking his medicine, isn't it?
Yes, and then he's also getting drug screened regularly at the VA, so they just make sure that he's, not self-medicating or anything. So yes.
And so, as I understand it, the only thing preventing supervised visits is you want to see a negative UA. Do you not have access to the drug screens from the VA?
I currently do not have access to them, and if I am correct, we cannot submit them in our court to show the negative UA.
Okay, but just for your benefits, if you could, but it doesn't matter if you can't get them. But a UA shouldn't take long to get, correct?
Correct.
And the other thing is the paternity test. Did Mr. Oliveris have a relationship with this child before the CPS case?
Yes, he did.
Okay. But you think it would be harmful to go ahead and start the visits now before the paternity testing?
I don't think it would be harmful. I just know that Mr. Oliveris stated that he would like for it to be on record. So it wouldn't, it would benefit the both of them to have visitation, possibly before the paternity test came back if we had a negative UA.
Okay. But to be clear, Mr. Oliveris does believe that he is the father.
Yes, he does.
Okay. He just wants it on record so that nobody can doubt it.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Well, and maybe Mr. Saint and Mr. Mocson need to talk to Mr. Oliveris. If he has some question, I don't believe it's time to start visitation. So if y'all want a breakout room here in a minute, I'll give it to you. But typically when we're doing paternity testing, we don't start visitation until we get it back, because that could be very confusing to a child. So anyway, all right. Mr. Michelson, do you have questions?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Garcia, is he housed at the Thomas E. Creek facility or a different VA?
I'm not sure what the VA is called. It's the one that's located here in Amarillo.
That's Thomas E. Creek. Do you know the formal name of the program he's involved in?
It's called SUD.
Could you phonetically spell that, because it doesn't translate it very well?
It's SUD.
Okay. Thank you. And do you know his caseworker by chance?
I have not spoke to her myself, but Mr. Oliveris did provide a phone number and a name of a person that I could reach out to.
Okay. Would you forward me that information, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Thank you. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Wiggins.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Garcia, did Eden start his medication in June or around June? Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Have they increased it or changed it since he's been started on that medication?
Yes, it has.
Okay. Because I know when I met with him, he was still a little, excitable. Do you believe that the increase or modifications are helping?
Yes, I do. I think that he definitely needs the modification that was done recently on the medication just because it helps him stay focused throughout the day.
Okay. And that was one of the issues when he got to his grandparents' house, that he was just having issues focusing and having some structure. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say.
Did he have a lapse in schooling before he came into care? Was he homeschooled or?
Yes, he was being homeschooled. So that's kind of why he is struggling, even with the ADHD. It's just because he was already kind of behind due to the homeschooling. And so trying to get back into our traditional academic setting was a little bit difficult for him. And so they did say from the beginning that he was a little bit behind, but not too much where he couldn't get caught up.
Okay. And is mom willing to keep him in the formal structure of the school, especially if he gets those modifications or exceptions to help him at school?
Yes, she is.
Okay. All right. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Anyone else have further questions for Ms. Garcia?
Just
All right.
one briefly, Judge.
I did too, Sam. Sorry.
No, you're right.
When Ms. Garcia, I apologize. When did Mr. Oliveras formally go into the VA program? How long has he been in there?
He's been there since October. I would not have an official date until I spoke to Miss Young, which is the caseworker there at the VA.
Okay, so I mean October, so a month, basically.
Probably. I think he went like mid-October.
Okay, thank you.
And I just had a brief follow-up based on Miss Wiggins' question. Ms. Garcia, do you know when that IEP meeting has been scheduled for?
I do not know yet. I would have to wait until I speak to placement here in the next couple of weeks so I could get an official date on it. But I can also reach out to the school and just make sure that we're on a path for an IEP diagnostic.
And the only reason I was asking is because if we're looking at reunification happening soon, is that, and Ms. Wiggins was concerned about Ms. Arona maintaining those expectations with the school, is that something that Ms. Arona would also be able to attend?
Yes, she would actually like to attend.
Okay. That's the only question I had, Judge.
All right. If no one has further questions for Ms. Garcia, Ms. Wildman, do you have any other witnesses?
I do not, Judge.
All right. Mr. Barfield, any witnesses?
I do not have any witnesses, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Singh.
Yes, sir. I'd like to call my client, Mr. Olivares, briefly.
Okay. Sir, if you'd unmute.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. If you'd raise your right hand, please. You swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, Victor. Just wanted to ask you about paternity. Do you have any doubts that you're the father?
I don't. I just wanted to have the reassurance.
Okay. So you would prefer to have paternity testing just to have it absolutely 100%?
Correct.
Okay. So that nobody could doubt it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Anyone else have questions for Mr. Olivares?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Mr. Singh, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Michelson, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Wiggins, witnesses.
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Wiggins, recommendations then.
Thank you, Judge. I'd excuse me, I apologize. I would, gosh, the department to remain temporary managing conservator. I apologize, Judge. I have a bad sinus infection. And that the child's placed to be continued. He's doing really well there, and I mean, absent his ADHD. I know that's been hard for him to get some structure. Super sweet kid. Just a little, asks a lot of questions. A little inquisitive, which is a good thing. And so I do believe increasing visits with mom is a good thing. I think hopefully that'll go well, and on his medication as well. And I am happy to hear about the school getting him on some, hopefully, accommodations for that. So that's all I have, Judge.
Great, thank you. All right, then based on what I've heard, then I will continue the department's temporary managing conservator. I'll continue Eden's current placement. I'll order that Miss Arona's visitation will be increased. I'm not going to say how much because I don't know what the time constraints are, but I'll also order that her visitation from now on be unsupervised. I will order that Mr. Olivares may begin supervised visitation, but once we have number one, have a paternity test showing he is the biological father, and number two, he provides a negative UA to St. Francis or the department. Okay, I will set our final hearing in this case for January 12th, 2026. That will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing. So parties can either talk to their lawyers a little in advance, or anyone can go on the court's online docket a day or two before January 12th to see exactly what time of day we'll have that hearing. That way you won't be sitting around in a waiting room waiting for us to get started. So, all right, this was our last hearing for the day, so we will stand in recess. Everybody have a good week. This is set for a final hearing. There has been a motion made to extend the case. Ms. Wildman's with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the child. Mr. Sane is with us representing the father, Mr. Oliveras, who is with us. Mr. Nowak is covering for Mr. Barfield, representing the mother, Miss Arona, who is with us. And Mr. Michelson is with us as guardian ad litem. Mr. Michelson, you were guardian ad litem for the father, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So Mr. Michael's with us as guardian ad litem for Mr. Oliveras. That's all the parties. I have Sylvia Garcia, Gary Hamilton, Tanner Howell in the waiting room.
Can I get Sylvia Garcia and Judge the other two individuals or possible witnesses that we called in case we weren't able to get the extension worked out?
Okay.
They're both with the police department.
Okay. All right. Let's just. I don't see the motion filed. Was there an actual motion filed, or did it just end up in the CPS report?
I did file one, Judge, and Mr. Michelson's actually filed a response.
Okay.
Do you want me to just kind of lay out what the reasons? So, Judge, I guess there's two primary reasons why we were asking for the extension, and it kind of depends on each parent. For Miss Arona, the department has begun the process of developing a reunification plan with her. There are still some concerns about housing stability. I think at the last hearing it was testified that the family's lease was going to end December or January. It's actually not ending till the end of February now, is my understanding. And that may have always been the date. But we are beginning that process of working that reunification plan, increasing visitation, and the department's asking for more time as far as making that happen and making sure that that would be appropriate and we're not going to risk the possibility of removal again. And I believe as far as her part goes, Miss Arona understood that, and her attorney had indicated that they were in agreement. Okay. Now, as far as Mr. Oliveras is concerned, he has recently completed his residential VA program. And the biggest concern for the department now is that he shows stability long-term and shows sobriety long-term. He only just had his first in-person visit with Eden for the duration of this case on Christmas Eve, which I believe Sylvia supervised. And it's my understanding he's still kind of looking for housing, and he's still doing an outpatient program through the VA's program. And so as far as he's concerned, Judge, we're wanting to see that long-term stability. The department's intention, I think, is as long as the housing Miss Arona finds is appropriate, pretty much probably placing Eden very quickly after they find that housing at the end of February, beginning of March, and then we would also ask for mediation to be ordered.
Okay. Okay. You said there was something filed by Mr. Michelson. Mr. Michelson, what did you file concerning the extension?
I filed a response to Ms. Wildman's motion, and essentially arguing that there isn't any new showing of newly discovered danger or sudden crisis or an extraordinary event preventing trial, and that Ms. Arona is available and willing to parent and capable of providing a safe and stable home, and she's prepared to assume responsibility for the child.
Okay, so you on behalf of the father are arguing to place the child back with the mother.
Yes, the father, his position, as I understood it, is that the father is asking that the child be placed with the mother and that he have unsupervised visitation with the child.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, I would not be in a position to give him unsupervised visits now, but I do find that both parents have made reasonable efforts to complete their service plans and have been diligent in doing so, but additional time's needed for the reasons Ms. Wildman set out. So I'm going to grant the extension and retain the case on the court's docket. I think that's going to benefit both parents, actually. So, okay. That having been said, then we will proceed today as a permanency hearing. So, Ms. Wildman, you may proceed. Do we need the officers in?
Yes, Judge, if you'd bring them in and release them.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Wildman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. And then I'll call Sylvia Garcia with the department.
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Ms. Wildman.
Thank you, Judge. And so, Ms. Garcia, let's get a brief update on Eden and his placement. Where is he currently placed?
He is placed in a kinship placement with his aunt and uncle.
All right. And how has that been going?
It's been going good so far. Eden does sometimes have behavior issues as far as he's wanting to stay with mom. Now that his visits are getting a little bit longer with mom, he has a hard time just kind of getting back to his routine, back with placement. So that kind of does take a toll on his behavior there with them. But other than that, he does very well in school. He does very well with them.
And so what kind of visitation is Eden having with Miss Arona right now?
So she is getting him a couple of nights during the weekdays. She is helping with homework and dinner. And then she also gets him on the weekends. She'll get him for 24 hours.
Okay. And so it's fair to say that we've started overnights then, correct?
Yes.
Now, has the department been able to develop a full reunification plan yet?
Not yet.
What is going on as far as you understand regarding the housing?
So the lease is due to be, it's, from my understanding, the lease expires in either the beginning of February or it's going to be the end of February, beginning of March is when the lease is supposed to expire. They do have to give at least a 30-day notice of when is the last month that they will be there. So that way they don't get caught up in another lease issue saying that they did not complete the lease. So they are currently looking for something, but it has been kind of hard for them to find something that's at least 3 bedrooms that's in their price range.
Okay. So do you know, have they given that 30 days notice yet?
Not yet, because they want to make sure that they're able to find something before then.
Okay. Does the department have a plan yet as far as reunification if they're not able to find anything?
We don't. We're hoping that they do find something. I know that they've just kind of been looking. They haven't really actually went and looked at places. It's just been a lot of looking online, checking out prices and seeing kind of where their budget is.
Okay. And if they're able to find something, I mean, is the department waiting until then to work the reunification plan, or are you we planning on starting that sooner?
We're planning on starting that sooner.
Okay. And are these overnights a first step into doing that?
Yes, they are.
And how do those overnights go?
They've gone well so far. They've only had a couple, and they have been going well so far.
Now, as far as visitation with Mr. Olivares, what sort of visitation has been able to begin?
So he has weekly visitations, but from the initial visit that we had, we just hadn't been able to do another visit due to the holidays, but he is going to have weekly visitations for 1 hour.
Okay. And it was going to be supervised by St. Francis?
Yes, they will be.
All right. And now, as far as the parent, I guess as far as the service plans go, what does Miss Arona have to complete still, if anything?
She has the Padre program to complete, which was a recommendation from the OZAR. She was due to be completed before the end of December, but due to them, the coordinator here being put on maternity leave, and then it just kind of being a little mix up with the Lubbock office getting a hold of the clients here in Amarillo is the reason why we have not been able to move forward, and she has not been able to complete that.
Okay. Do you know if she's been able to get back and set up for those last couple classes she has to do, or is that still sort of in limbo because of the Padre program themselves?
It's still in limbo because of the Padre program themselves. I've sent out an email and I know that she sent one out as well.
Okay. Is that program going to, let's say if that's not going to be able to be completed before we're ready to reunify, are we going to hold off reunification because of that?
No, we wouldn't. We are hoping that they get it going back, or we'll look for another alternative for her to do.
And otherwise, is that the only service that she still needs to complete?
Yes, that is.
And is it fair to say she's been having consistently negative drug screens for quite a while now?
Yes.
All right. And so Mr. Olivares, does he have anything in his service plan that he still needs to complete?
We are here on a
No, he does
permanency
not.
review after final order. Ms. Wildman is with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the children. Mr. Taylor is with us representing the mother, Ms. Carrasco, who is with us. And Ms. Grant is with us. She's guardian ad litem. Ms. Grant, are you guardian ad litem for just
The
Christian or
children.
for all the children? You're muted. Well, she may not be with us. Does anybody know who she's?
Sorry about that, Judge. All the children.
All the children. Okay. Okay. That's everyone. I have Grant. No, he's on our next hearing. Excuse me. I have Jessica Wilburn and Tessa Weston in the waiting room.
Tessa Weston will be my worker, Your Honor. And
Jessica.
before we get started, the department has actually filed a motion to modify dismissing the department out of this case.
Okay.
We circulated an agreed order, but I did not get signatures back. So if we could do the order and then I think we'd like to hear that and have the department dismissed out if everybody's on the same page.
All right. The report I read said you wanted to name the mother permanent managing conservator and then dismiss everyone else. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So,
I have no objection hearing that today, Judge.
okay. Anyone else? All right.
No
Then.
objection, Judge.
Is everybody in agreement?
Absolutely.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Judge.
Hey, is there any need to have a hearing?
No, Judge.
I don't think so.
All right, let's not make it harder on us than we have to. Say, all right, then everyone's in agreement. I will follow that agreement. I will name Ms. Carrasco permanent managing conservator of all the children. And I noticed, are we good with Christian? It sounds like everything I read's good. He's going to stay at Texas Girls and Boys Ranch in Lubbock until he graduates, and then might be going to a SIL. Is that all still accurate?
That's correct, Your Honor, and we will
Yes.
do an agreed order on that one.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I think he's doing fine. So, okay. Well, I appreciate y'all working that out. I will dismiss the department and all other court-appointed relationships after all appellate and de novo periods have expired. Mr. Taylor, I know your client's in agreement, but you can explain to her appellate and de novo rights if she asks about it. So,
Absolutely.
all right. I appreciate y'all working that out. We'll stand in recess. I'll be back at 11:45 to call another Randall County case. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the child. Ms. Mullinax is with us representing the father, Mr. Eagleston, who's with us. And Mr. Saint is filling in for Ms. Archer, representing the mother, Ms. Wilburn, who is with us. That's all the parties and attorneys. I have Tiffany Brown in the waiting room.
That's my caseworker, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, first off, I read in the report the department's asking to extend this case and retain the case on the court's docket. Is that still correct, Ms. Gutierrez?
Yes, Your Honor, we do have a reunification plan on file. And so we are asking for that today.
And that reunification plan, is that to place with father?
I believe the parents are still residing together, if I'm not mistaken. And so it would be placing with both. I believe the mother's criminal restriction and her probation, as far as being with children, was lifted in some type of way to allow her to be with her children unsupervised.
Okay, all right, that answers my question. That's what I couldn't glean from the report. Does anyone object to the extension?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then, based on what you've told me, I do find extraordinary circumstances to extend the case and retain the case on the court's docket so that we can continue with the reunification plan. So let's see, we were here last on in January. So we just, I guess we treat this basically as a permanency hearing, just so we're stay on track. So I don't have anyone else in the waiting room. So Ms. Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department calls Tiffany Brown as its witness.
And I did read that report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Tiffany, since the filing of that court report, what are the updates on the child?
Anna is doing good in placement. I went to see her last week, Friday, and she's doing good. She had her first overnight visit. So parents have everything. Their home is adequate and stable.
Okay. And are the parents still residing together?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the update regarding the restriction for mom in her criminal case as far as unsupervised with her children?
The exception is that she can be around her own children.
Okay. And are there any other updates on mom since the filing of the court report?
No, ma'am.
And regarding to the father, what are the updates for him since the filing of the court report?
I think everything's still status quo. They're still working, living together, and having their visits in their home now.
And I understand they do have their new child there at the home. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What is that baby's name?
Bear.
Bear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are parents taking care of Bear as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So at this point, we are looking to reunify our child into the home with her sibling and both parents. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. If all goes well, we will do placement on March 24th.
Okay. Can you give me a little bit more detail on that reunification plan?
She started out with 4 unsupervised hours and then it increased to 8. She will have her first weekend. Well, I believe she had her first weekend. And so 1 more weekend and then we'll place.
And are we asking the court to postpone another final hearing until at least 8 weeks from that date of placement?
Yes, ma'am.
So would you agree that would be very late May or very early June?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In regards to that, those unsupervised visits, how are they going for the parents?
They're doing well. In addition to St. Francis being in the homes, DFPS has been in the home as well a few times a week. So we have no concerns. We just would like to move forward with great things for this family.
Okay. And at this point, has the mother completed her service plans, her services?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Are there any additional services for mom that we need to ask the court to order?
No, ma'am.
In regards to the father, has he completed his plan as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any additional services we need to ask for?
No, ma'am.
Are we asking for any drug screens to be ordered today?
No, ma'am.
Can you please identify the reasonable efforts you have made to reunify the child in the home?
Each parent has a family plan of services. St. Francis has made payments to service providers to get those services started and completed. St. Francis continues to monitor for drug screens, which parents return negative, and we continue to make monthly visits to the home as well as the child.
And would that reunification plan that is now on file in the case, would that also be a reasonable effort to reunify the family?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have any other requests for the court today?
No, ma'am.
Ask the witness.
All right. Ms. Gutierrez, are you asking for this 8-week hearing to be set as a final or just as a permanency?
I believe that we are asking for it to be a final hearing.
Okay. All right. All right, then, Mr. Saint, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor. We are obviously in agreement with the reunification plan.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mullinax.
Tiffany, would I be correct if I said that there were 6 steps before placement with the parents?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's been 4 of them that have been completed. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I think you said there had already been a weekend, but this weekend there was only 1 overnight. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got 2 more weekends that have to be done this weekend and next weekend, and then placement if everything's okay.
Yes, ma'am, for the 24th.
Okay, and you haven't seen any signs that we're not on track, correct?
Correct.
I pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wiggins?
I have no questions.
All right. Ms. Gutierrez, anything further from the department?
Nothing further, Your Honor. We do ask for findings of making reasonable efforts to reunify the family.
Okay, I'll make those findings based on the reunification plan as well as the parent service plans. Mr. Saint, did you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Ms. Mullinax?
No, Your Honor, rest.
Ms. Wiggins?
No witnesses.
Ms. Wiggins, recommendation.
I recommend the department remain temporary managing conservator during the reunification process. I have not heard anything to say that it isn't going well, so I'm in agreement with it.
Okay, all right then. All right, then, as I previously stated, I've granted the department's motion to extend the case and retain the case on the court's docket to allow the reunification plan to go forward. I will continue the department's temporary managing conservator, and I will continue Annalise's current placement. As far as next hearing, Ms. Gutierrez, I've got dates in front of me for June 2nd or July 7th. Those are the ones that are kind of around when you wanted.
Yeah, I think June 2nd would be best, Your Honor. The parents have been doing very well. You know, like Ms. Wiggins and Tiffany said, we don't see any contraindications
Okay.
to being able to get out soon.
All right, then. So I will set our next hearing as the final hearing to be held on June 2nd, 2025. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of June 2nd to see exactly what time we'll have that hearing. Sounds like things are going great. Maybe we'll have one more hearing and we'll be done. So, all right, that will conclude this hearing. We'll stand in recess. We did have a final set for 12:30 on the Francisco child, but that has been will be reset probably today, I think. So our next scheduled hearing will be at 1:30. That's another Randall County case. We're here on, and it was set as a permanency hearing. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the children. Mr. Nowak is with us representing the father, Mr. Bowie, who is with us. And Mr. Michelson is with us representing the mother, Ms. Smith, who is with us. That's all the parties involved. I have Erica Cantrell in the waiting room.
That's my witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, we ask that the court take judicial notice of that court report.
Right, so noted, and I did read that report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Erica, can you please give us updates on both children?
Keelan and Kamari are both doing very well in their current placement with a paternal aunt. No concerns reported. They're going to daycare daily, healthy, no dental medical issues or anything like that.
Okay. And what are the updates regarding the mother, Ms. Smith?
Ms. Smith was unsuccessfully discharged from the Haven. So she can reapply to that program after 30 days, but as of right now, she is no longer in that program.
Did she complete her inpatient rehabilitation, or rather substance abuse program?
Yes, at Centacor.
And since then, has she also tested negative on a drug screen?
Yes, a UA.
Okay. And where is has Miss Neely provided you information on where she is staying now?
Initially I had information that she was staying with her grandmother.
Okay. Is she staying in communication with you?
Yes, she is.
How are her visits with the children going?
There's no concerns with visitation. We had actually increased to 2 hours when she was at the Haven because she was doing so well in the program.
Okay. And what were the reasons, if you know, that she was discharged from Haven?
When speaking with the Haven, the director there, Stephanie, there was ongoing concerns of Neely bullying other peers at the Haven. She had discussed on multiple occasions with her about that, and there was no improvement. So ultimately, that's what led to her discharge.
Okay. And is Miss Smith also in an anger management course or similar type of course for that?
Yes.
Okay, so is she actively participating in that service?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, great. And what are the updates regarding Kobe Bowie?
There's really no significant updates. I say that he is doing an outpatient program with Centacor. Other than that, there haven't been any other changes.
Is he complying with your request to drug screen?
Yes, he did go drug screen.
How is his visitation with the boys going?
He hasn't had visitation for some time due to needing the drug screen that we had at the last court hearing. He did complete that. A visitation request was submitted. However, Tristan, who has been assigned the visit, has had a difficult time getting in contact with Kobe. But as my understanding, he has a visit scheduled for tomorrow.
Okay. And in regards to services, how is Miss Smith progressing on her services?
She was doing really good, and when she was in the Haven, we would like to ask that she continue those support groups outside of the Haven. Continue some of that. We may want to do some more counseling with her. Just give her more services to maintain her sobriety.
Now, specifically, are we asking for services, additional services to be ordered today?
Yes, ma'am.
And which services are we asking the court to consider ordering for her?
We'd like to order that she attend the AANA weekly and if possible twice a week at a minimum, and then some additional counseling services so she can work on the anger and the tendencies that she's reported or that was reported with her attitude towards others.
Now, in regards to the anger management course that she is currently in, is that already court ordered as part of the status hearing?
I believe it is in her family plan.
Okay. And regarding Mr. Bowie, how is he progressing on his service plan?
He's not doing a lot of progression. He had worked services previously, but he continues. He does not have employment. He does not. He lives with his mother, so he does not have his own stable housing right now. And then the maintaining contact and such like that.
Sorry about that. Are there any services that we are asking to be ordered for Mr. Bowie today?
As far as going ahead and with that outpatient treatment to continue that, as well as any recommendations that they make when he is discharged from the program, whether it be continued AANA, just whatever recommendations Centacor makes.
In regards to drug screens, what drug screens are we asking the court to order today?
I would like a hair strand for both parents.
Are we requesting urinalysis drug screens as well or no?
They did them as recent as the 28th of February, but we could go ahead and just have them done both hair anyway, just to ensure that they are remaining sober.
Can you please describe the department's reasonable efforts to reunify?
We continue to provide services, and we've given some extra time to complete services and such. So as of right now, we're just maintaining where we are right now in the case.
Are we asking the court to go ahead and set a final hearing for the next hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Cantrell, where did you say that Mr. Bowie is doing his outpatient?
Centacor.
Centacor, okay. And I read in the report that he had not started his BIP classes. Is that still the case?
That is still the case.
But it's still a court order, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Mr. Michelson, questions?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Cantrell, Ms. Gutierrez asked most of the questions that I was going to ask you, but would you agree that Ms. Smith has approximately 6 months in sobriety according to her observation?
Her 6 months wouldn't be until April.
Until April. Okay. April 17th, sound correct?
It was in the middle towards the end of the month when we did the calculation when she was in the Haven.
Okay. And it's my understanding that at the time that Ms. Smith was unsuccessfully discharged from the Haven House, she had just started anger management classes. Has she talked to you about her progress in those?
I do know that she had started it. That is something else that we had discussed with the director there. So I do know that she was actively participating.
Okay. And does it sound correct that she could reapply for the Haven House on the 27th of this month?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And let's see. Would you agree that she substantially complied with most of her case plan up to the new recommendations?
Yes, she had been doing great.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Nowak.
Thank you, Judge. Just a few questions, Eric. And as always, thanks for taking my calls, especially the days of the hearing. Eric, is it fair to say that the primary reason for removal was mom's methamphetamine use?
That is the reason we did get involved, yes.
Okay. Is it also fair to say that Dad Kobe has tested positive for nothing but, and I don't mean to diminish this, but he's tested positive for nothing but marijuana, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I understand that there's a BIP course ordered for Kobe, but have you observed any anger issues from Kobe?
Not towards me, no.
Okay. And mom, and I apologize if I didn't hear correctly, but was mom discharged from Haven House for her anger issues?
Yes.
Okay. And I hate this question, but as between the two parents, at this point, Kobe's doing a little bit better, correct?
I think they both have progress to do. They're both separate and they're making their own progress in different areas.
Okay. Well, Kobe's on screen right now. Just tell me what to tell him.
Say it again.
Tell me what to tell him. Are y'all, I know BIP classes are ordered. You're still insisting on that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And he needs to stay in better contact with you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I know that there was a dilute on the last drug test. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay. What does that mean?
I'm not an expert on it. I mean, from what I understand, there is the UA, the urine is diluted, and that's why it's considered a dilute negative.
And again, he's never tested positive for anything but marijuana, correct?
Correct.
Would you say that he is substantially in compliance?
I would say he's in compliance.
Okay. Thank you so much, Erica. Judge, I'll pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Wiggins.
I have no questions, Judge.
All right. Ms. Cantrell, at the original removal, the original affidavit stated that on August 29th, law enforcement had been called out due to a domestic violence incident between the parents. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did the mother at that time substantiate that there had been domestic violence by the father on her?
Yes.
Is that why we ordered the BIP class as one of his requirements?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would you agree with me that just because he hasn't shown any signs of anger towards you, that doesn't necessarily mean he has it towards Miss Smith?
Oh, yes, I agree.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anyone else have further questions for Ms. Cantrell?
I do, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Oh, Courtney, go ahead.
Sorry,
Oh, I'm
Erica.
sorry.
No, that's okay. They snuck up on me. Erica, in regards to the visitation with the father, why was he not having visitation earlier?
Earlier we had, he had not drug screened. And so we wanted to ensure that, there was nothing other than the marijuana in his system, as the children are smaller. He did complete that. He was positive for marijuana in both, but we did have difficult time getting in contact with him to schedule the visits.
Okay, and so it's taken him a whole year to drug screen?
No, ma'am. He had drug screened before. The contact that he was primarily having with the boys was virtual prior to their move to Amarillo in October.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, anyone further questions for Ms. Cantrell?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Ms. Cantrell, in addition to our own concerns in this case with Mr. Bowie, is it also correct that he is having to do that outpatient program due to his violations with probation?
I don't know if that's specifically, I know he was going to be talking with his probation.
Hold on, Ms. Cantrell. I'm sorry, did she break up for
Yes,
everybody?
she
Was
did.
that just me?
Yeah, Erica, if you'd start over, you broke up at the first.
I apologize. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it's specifically in regards to probation and that he's having to do it. I just know that he reported that he has been doing Synacor.
Would it be contrary to the welfare of the children to return to the homes of the parents?
Yes, at this time.
Would it also pose a continuing danger to their physical health or safety?
Yes, ma'am, at this time.
Okay. Pass the witness.
All right. Any further questions from anyone for Ms. Cantrell?
Just briefly, Judge, and this is going off of Ms. Wiggins' questions. Erica, Colby didn't just start testing for y'all, correct? In fact, he has tested 11 times in the last year, correct?
Correct. He's tested for us.
Now, I know most of them have been positive, there've been one negative, but he has tested for you, correct?
Yes, he's tested.
All the positives were for marijuana and nothing else, correct?
Correct.
Erica, thank you so much. Judge, thank you. Pass the witness.
Anyone else? All
No,
right.
Your Honor.
Ms. Gutierrez, do you have any other witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. I call Kobe Bowie.
Okay. Mr. Bowie, if you'd unmute, please. All right. Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Bowie, are you currently on probation?
Yes, ma'am.
What is that for?
It's for a robbery a few years ago.
Okay. And as a part of your probation, are you supposed to not have THC?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when did that requirement start?
Pretty much from the beginning.
From the beginning of your probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what month and year your probation started?
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. I want to say it was this is my second year on probation.
Okay. So is there also a supplemental order requiring you to do a substance abuse treatment program at Synacor?
Yeah, after the case, the family violence case with Neely had got dismissed, they had also given me a drug screen that I failed for marijuana, and the judge recommended that I do at Synacor.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bowie. Pass the witness.
Mr. Michelson, questions for him?
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Nowak?
No questions, Judge.
Ms. Wiggins?
No questions.
All right. Ms. Gutierrez, any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, Your Honor. We do ask for a finding that we are making reasonable efforts to reunify the family and creating those family plans of service and helping the parents or attempting to help the parents complete those plans, as well as facilitating visitation.
All right. I will make those findings. All right. Mr. Michelson, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor. We rest.
Thank you, Mr. Nowak.
Rest, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Wiggins. Recommendations?
I recommend that the department remain temporary managing conservator, which means granting the extension. I think you've already done that. And the placement to continue. The children are doing well.
Okay. All right. You're correct. I think I misspoke one time saying that the department was asking for an extension, but I did see that I had already signed that order, so.
And Your Honor, I apologize. I forgot to renew my request to the court for the mother to be ordered for additional 6 sessions of counseling, as well as her to complete the anger management program she is currently in, and also for her to attend AA or NA or a similar program at least twice weekly.
Okay. All right. I will continue the department as temporary manager and conservator, continue the children's current placements. I'll order to Ms. Smith to attend an AA or NA 12-step program. I'm going to say just once weekly. And I think they can be done virtually. I think I've heard that in the past. If so, virtual would be fine. And I will order that she complete an additional 6 counseling sessions. I'll order Mr. Bowie to complete the outpatient at Centacor, which he's doing, and to follow any recommendations made by the Centacor outpatient program. I'll order both parents to hair strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. tomorrow, since it's getting kind of late today. By 4 p.m. tomorrow, and I assume that would be at Care Express in Amarillo. So, all right, I will set a final for June 2nd, 2025. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two before June 2nd to see exactly what time we'll have that hearing. We'll stand in recess on this case. For those of you involved, I'll be back.